Hi guys, well I'm back for a third time. I decided this time I was going to talk about my guy. Like I said, I told you he was in the hospital. He went to the hospital on Monday to get a tube inserted in his peritoneal for him to have peritoneal dialysis. There's two kinds of dialysis. There is peritoneal, which is done at home. It's a fluid transfer. And then there is hemodialysis, which you have to go to the clinic or be in the hospital to get blood transfer. They kind of both work the same kind of way, except hemo is done every 3 days for ever so many hours your doctor prescribes for you to be on. If he would go to hemo, he would have to be on for 4 to 5 hours every 3 days. And peritoneal dialysis you do every day. And it's an 8-hour cycle, but you can put yourself on at night while you sleep. So he hooks up to the machine. It's a little tube that comes out of his stomach. It's a tube, a catheter that's inserted in between the peritoneal wall and his abdomen, and comes out of the external part of his body, and he hooks it up into a machine. And there's fluid pumped in, and then it has a solution. It's different things, sugar and different other kind of solution, and it pulls all the poison, toxins and stuff out into a drain bag, or he could put the tube into the toilet and it could go out like that. I know it sounds really gross. So he's been on dialysis now for 10 years now, and it's been up and down. And I basically watched him come from a strong man into, this sickly man. He looks way older than his age. We're both the same age. I'm older than him by a few months. His birthday's, matter of fact, Halloween. July. So anyway, it's a lot of, things to go with it, because dialysis take a lot out of your body. Hemodialysis is just a little bit more harder on the body, because you only do it every 3 days and you stay on so long, and then this machine that's pumping your blood out of your body into the machine to recycle it, to clean it, is going so fast. Well, that's how hard it makes your heart pump. So, people have died on the machines, have strokes on the machines. So, it's a really hard thing for the body to handle. And then your kidneys work every day. They don't work, they work every day, all day. They just don't work every 2 days or every 3 days. So, by the third day, he's full of fluid, because he doesn't urinate anymore. So he's full of fluid, and he has to be, pulled off. And sometimes they bring him too low. They take too much fluid off, because he might have gained. You have to weigh yourself before you go on the machine, so they know how much fluid to take off. So they go by how much you weigh. So they go about how much you weigh. That if you have so much more weight than the last time they've seen you, then they take that off, because they figure that's more fluid than it is muscle fat or fat. So, and sometimes they take you too low, and they crash you, and it causes really bad muscle cramps. Have you ever got a Charlie horse? Well, it's like that. They get really hot and throw up, and it's really bad. And I go to the clinic with him now, because right now he had to get his tube pulled, because he's usually on peritoneal dialysis, but he got his tube pulled because he contracted a really bad infection. I guess it started January of last year, and they never really could cure this bug that was there that he had got. Because the only thing about having to be on peritoneal dialysis, you have to be very careful. You can't touch the ends of the tubes when you're, closing off, and it's so much stuff that goes into it. You have to be really clean and sanitized, and when you gotta wear masks when you opening up your tubes, and all that kind of stuff. Well, he contracted some kind of bug, and then he went to visit his. He went out of town, and his tubing broke, and he never got over that part because he got a really bad infection. It's called peritonitis, and it could be deadly. So he got this really bad strain of some kind of bacterial infection, and they couldn't get rid of it. And I guess a little bit probably was hiding in the tube somewhere. And every time they think they would clear it up, it would come back and it would be growing and all that kind of stuff. And he was in and out the hospitals all of last year. He stayed more in the hospitals than he did out. So they decided they better pull the tube to give the peritoneal area a rest and for him to get healthy. And then once it gets better, put the tube back in, and then he can go back on peritoneal dialysis. But right now he's in hemo. So I go there with them sometimes to the clinic, but it's like really depressing for me. So I try not to go there as much as I can, you know, and it makes me look bad because he wants me there. But the whole time he's there, he's sleeping. We're there 5 hours and he's sleeping, and I'm not able to really be, he's in a reclining chair, and, they got the TV going, and I'm sitting on the stool, and my ass is hurting and hungry, thirsty, and I really don't want to eat in front of him, because it's a big clinic. It's like a gang of people there, and I'm, don't want to eat and drink in front of people because they're thirsty and hungry, and they're not supposed to have things really while they're getting their fluids sucked off of them. So, and then it's just depressing because I see so many people that are so ill, and it reminds me how ill my dude is, you know what I'm saying, and it gets really depressing sometimes. So I don't like going as much as I guess I should go. And all you see is, Hispanics and blacks there because we're the ones that suffer the most from this disease. And people are young. I mean, I see guys in there and women in there that are, young. I mean, in their 30s, 20s. And it's just heartbreaking for them to have to go through, dialysis, and knowing that, they're as sick as they are. Some people never get a transplant, and he's been on the transplant list for 10 years now. Hasn't got one yet. So, it's just really, we have to take care of our bodies, you guys. And we have to take care of ourselves. I know when we're young, we don't think about it. When I was young, I'm strong and I'm young and everything. And I have diabetes now. And diabetes is one of the biggest things that causes renal failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure. Because the diabetes is, can give you two things. Heart problems or renal failure. You go blind, you can lose your limbs. I have type 2 diabetes, and mine is from weight gain. I need to lose weight because I'm a fat ass. I have a, what can I call it? I have a fibroid tumor in my uterus that is 20 pounds. And that's why I believe I have diabetes, because of the weight. Too much stress on my body. I've always been healthy. Never been in the hospital before except for having children. But now I'm sick. But I don't feel sick. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I feel healthy. Sometimes I have, my days also. But I gotta be a strong black woman. What's your muscle? Okay.